Alright, here I am.
Oh, to see without my eyes, the first time that you kissed me, boundless by the time I cried. I built your walls around me, white noise.
Do you ever get in the mood where you want to travel hundreds of miles away from home into the middle of nowhere, even though you have zero experience nor the means to do so? Well, it turns out they have a word for that: backpacking. It's to travel with one's belongings in, well, a backpack. Okay, that intro was a slight lie. I do know what I'm doing. But at one point I was just like you guys. I had no idea what I was doing. I went on my first camp when I was 2 years old, and I learned from my family. I watched what they were doing and I learned from them. I would look at what they brought and how they used it. I learned the most from my brother Jacob. Jacob is 5 years older than me, and when we were growing up in Snowdonia, there wasn't much else to do apart from explore. The local areas just like this. The local woods, the abandoned buildings, the quarry, the local mountains, the local lakes, the rivers, and the local ruins. And these are all places where I learned my skills. And I want to share them with you, as many people don't have the privilege of growing up in a rural place like this. Before I go out and teach you how to go on 3-day backpacking trips, you need to learn the baby steps. And baby step number 1 is day hiking. Well, you may be asking,
what is day hiking?
Well, day hiking is simply a hike that is short enough to be completed in 1 day. You don't need much equipment to do this, nor much information. But what equipment do you need? The first thing you'll need is a day pack, like these ones. This one is just a regular backpack made for hiking, and this one has a water reservoir in it, so you don't need to carry a bottle with you. I would recommend getting a hiking specific one, but if you already have a backpack that will do the job, there's no point getting a new one. You might as well save the money. The next thing you'll have to think about is clothing, and this is arguably the most important bit. The first thing you'll need is a pair of walking boots. And walking boots vary in style and price, and I could make an entire video just on that, so I recommend doing your own research. My hiking boots have a high ankle, so you don't roll your ankle, and are waterproof. They also have large tread with very sticky rubber to stop you from slipping on rocks. They are also pretty solid. In terms of clothing for a day hike, you can pretty much wear whatever you want, as long as it's light and comfortable and suitable for the weather. One thing that I recommend you always bring though is a waterproof, as it rains almost 200 days in the UK on average. It's good investing in a good quality one. Day hiking is pretty easy to pack for. As you're only going for 1 day, you'll only need about 2 litres of water and some high calorie foods like bananas and protein bars. My favourite are Cliff Bars. Once you've done your first day hike, you're now ready for your first overnight camping trip. There's a lot more information involved and a lot more equipment as well. But I'm going to teach you everything you'll need to know to go on a 1-day solo camping trip. Firstly, you're going to need a bigger backpack. Quite a lot bigger. This is because you're going to need to carry a lot more things with you. The first of which is a tent. This is a 1-man tent and it's quite small. This is what I use because I solo camp. But you can get 2-man and 4-man tents if you're camping with others, or you just want more space. But these will be bigger to carry and heavier. Next is a sleeping bag. This is mine. It's massive, but that's because it's rated for -9 temperatures. If you're not camping in such cold temperatures, you can get a smaller one that will be easier to carry. To go under the sleeping bag, you'll also need a camping mat. This can be an inflatable one or just a yoga mat if you have lying around, but I recommend an inflatable one. You'll also need a light for inside your tent. I just use a head torch because I can wear it when I'm setting up the tent in the dark if need be, and I can just hang it from the inside of my tent and use it as a lamp. I'd also recommend a first aid kit. Most first aid kits found in shops don't have exactly what you need for camping, but it will do and it's always good to bring one with. Also, you need to think about eating. You can either just bring sandwiches and stuff that you can eat without cooking, or if you feel like going the extra mile, you can buy a camping stove and some gas, and you can make some nicer meals out on the mountain. You also need to think more about clothing. You might want to bring an extra jumper or 2, or a thermal, because at night the temperatures can really drop. Now you have all your equipment, now you just need to use it, and I'll teach you how to do that while I go on a hike of my own. I'm gonna go get ready for that. Alright,
here I am. We're gonna be camping in Dinorwig Woods tonight. Should be good fun. Weather's not the best. We got pretty bad winds and a bit of rain. But the rain should get less and less throughout the day, and it's pretty much non-existent right now. Anyway, so yeah, I'll see you when I found a good spot to camp.
In a hard place, it's better in control. What am I waiting for?
It's super windy in there. Jesus.
My compass, my transport.
Closed off because of bats. Oh, I got water down my neck. Alright, it's really cleared up in terms of rain, and the wind's really died down, but I can tell it's still really windy. It is really windy still, but sheltered by a lot of the trees. Sun's gonna go down in about an hour or so, so I think I'll start to venture off the track into the middle of the woods basically, and find a nice spot to camp tonight. Yeah, see you there. Alright, found a nice little spot here. Show in a second. Just need to, well, clear a few sticks, then I'll set up camp.
As long as this love's still fleeting, because I like her.
Alright, I've just cleaned out this area. That's where my tent will go. And yeah, it's time to teach you how to set up your first camp. Alright, setting up a tent. So this is actually the first time I'm setting up this specific tent. I've set up loads of tents before, so let's hope it's not too tricky. Let's get it undone. This will be your poles. And these are your tent pegs. You can use the tent pegs that just come with it, but I've got some better tent pegs that I use for my tents, so I'm just putting these on the side. Alright. This is your tent. That's the bit you're going in. And this bit on the bottom, this tarp sort of material, this bit's waterproof and goes on the ground. So you just want to set it out. Make sure you're on a flat ground and there's no sticks underneath where you are. This bit, which is currently attached, just because it came like that, is your waterproof cover that goes over the top. Just unhooking it now. Alright, so I've just taken my tent out of its bag. This is where I'm going to be putting my tent. This is the inside layer. I'm just putting it there so I know where I'm putting my tent tonight. I also have my outside layer here, which is also known as your waterproof layer. First thing, you start with your tent poles. Here are your tent poles. Let's get her out. Any rubbish that you have, make sure you keep it in a safe place. You don't want to leave any behind. It's just not nice for other people and the wildlife that's out here. Mine just comes with two long sets. And they kind of go together by themselves, but they have string on the inside that holds them together, and you literally just pop it in. You can just kind of wiggle them around and they put themselves together. Sometimes, you see here, they need a little bit extra help. All right, got my poles together. For my tent, it's only 2 poles. It's a very quick setup. But the poles are very obviously different lengths. You see? This one's gonna go near the head, and this one's gonna go near where your feet go. If they look a little bit long, that's because when you put them in the tent, they bend, yeah? They bend. All right. Let's put the larger one in first. Sometimes when putting these in, you might have to undo them a little bit. But it's very simple. There'll be areas that are marked to your pole. See, there's red on the end of this pole. See? There's also red here. So, you know, you put your pole in there. Got the head end through. Now let's put the tail end through. See, these ones are marked yellow. So I look over here and oh look, there we go. There's a yellow section. Sometimes this does happen. If you're a little bit forceful, the poles will become undone on the inside. It's not a problem. You just take your time and you feed it back through. There we go. Got mine back. We'll try again here. There we go. Hole out the end and just feed that through. There we go. Now put the tail in as well. So now you've got your poles through. You'll find these areas near where your poles come out, a little bit further down, right on the edge of your canvas. This is where your pole just sticks into, just like that. You've got to do that to each end of your pole. It can be a little bit tricky. Get it right. Don't be afraid to bend your poles. They're designed to do that. Next is the first of your tent pegs. These are my bougie ones, but the normal ones are absolutely fine. It's just they have a tendency to snap, so if you're camping over and over again, it's nice to get the nicer ones, because if one snaps, that's not good news. You want to take your first ones, and right where you put those poles in, there will be a little loop, just like this. You want to take your peg through, stab it down. If you're struggling to get it into the ground, you can stand on it or use a mallet. I just stand. All right, this step isn't necessary, but if you've got plenty of tent pegs left over and it's especially windy and you want a little bit more space inside, you can take these, which unravel, and then you tent peg them also into the ground. They give you a little bit more extra space. This is a better one to do because if this is open, it also gives you a little bit of ventilation. But in the conditions that we're in, it's really not an issue. If I've got some spare time before bed, I might just do it for fun.
I might not be the right one, but there's something about us I want to say, 'cause there's something between us anyway. I might not be the right one, it might not be the right time, but there's something about us I've got to do. Some kind
All right.
of secret I will share.
I'm pretty worn out from setting up that tent and walking all day, so before I teach you how to make it nice and comfortable on the inside for you to sleep, I'm just gonna have a quick relax, have a drink of water, and eat my Cliff Bar like I said earlier. You need 3 things to have a good night. You need padding to sleep on. Oh, really quite raining. Sleeping bag to keep you warm. This is a massive one, don't worry, they're not normally this big. This is for alpine. And then a pillow. Oh, it's actually properly raining now. Let's get this sorted, yeah? Chuck all that in so I don't get wet. Stopped raining now, but oh well, I suppose that's good for us. Let's properly tie this up so you've got plenty of space. Plenty of space to work with. First thing you want to set out, your sleeping mat. Obviously you can just use a yoga mat, whatever. I recommend getting an inflatable one. If you don't want to get an inflatable, you can get proper rigid ones. And they are arguably better and lighter sometimes, but they can be quite bulky. Oh. Inflatable ones, though, are extremely tricky to pack away. As you can see, I'm struggling just to take this off. Oh. You can imagine what it's like to put back on. Put that there. And put it in some of it. Just put the bag and some of the storage at the back. Alright, now you want to roll it out. Oh, it's grass on it from my last trip. Ah, got grass in my tent. Should have cleaned it when I was done. Alright, you roll it out. Get the right shape. Here's your inflator. Alright, you pull it out, and then you just inflate it.
Don't give my shit away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight.
That made me quite lightheaded, but there we go. You just push it in, stop it. It's different for other makes, but there we go. We've got it all laid out. Just grab a pillow and sleeping bag. Next up is your sleeping bag. As I said before, this is a extremely large one and quite a bougie one. Sleeping in very cold. Luckily, it's April. It's really not very cold, and I'm quite warm anyway. From doing so much. Put the bag in the storage again. Ah, got it muddy in it. And then lay it out, which I've done the wrong way. There you go, nice and cozy. Next up, this one technically is optional, but it's a very small thing to bring, and it's a big, nice luxury. Pillow. Pillow, yeah, this one's actually self-inflating, but it takes a while, so I give it a help. There we go. Got a pillow there. Nice. And put that inside. Just leave the bag if you want, or if not, just put it down, leave the bag on top. Yeah. Now you've done that, you can get ready for bed, or you can make some food. So obviously I've already eaten my Cliff Bar, but you need a meal. And this is my meal tonight. It's made by Firepot barbecued pulled pork. 925 calories. You need good calories for hiking. And yeah, it's basically just boil in the bag. So I've just been to a river a little bit down the road, and I got some water here, but I got quite a lot. It's a little bit dirty, but if I boil it a bit before, should be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's just check how much water. How much water I need? 450 ml. Cool. Don't know if you can see on the inside. Just like rice, pork, and what looks like bits of bacon and stuff. Alright, now I've got to put my stove together. First, you need your gas. Take your little rubber thing off the top. You need somewhere flat to put that. You don't want everything toppling over. Then this isn't vital, but I recommend it, and it's better for the ground. You can get one of these little stands. I've just got a plastic one, but I think it's better if you get a metal one. This gives you a lot of extra stability. Click that into it. Next, you get your stove. You want to make sure it's turned all the way off. Now, you just want to screw it on. It's a little bit tricky to screw it on, and when you get about halfway, it'll start releasing gas. And once you start doing that, you just tighten it as fast as you can so you don't waste too much gas, and it will stop. There we go. Tighten it all the way. The gas does smell quite a lot. Okay. Now, it said 450 ml. I've got the measurements on the side of here. I've got about 1 litre right now, so let's pour some of it out. Yeah, that's good enough. You don't have to be too accurate. It's just, if you don't have enough, it'll be a little bit dry. If you have too much, it'll be a little bit wet. Alright, just move that round until you find somewhere to click it in. And then you lock it into place. There we go, locked it. Now you need to start it. To start it, you just release a little bit of gas, which I've actually tightened it way too much. You release a little bit of gas, and it's just releasing now. And then I just press start, which is just a little flick. There we go. You can hear that it's going. Just going to increase flame, put my lid on top so it heats up a bit faster. Now we just wait. Now I've got to pour into this. There we go, nice and boiling. Let's turn that off. I just, there we go, just disconnect it from there. Like that. Remove the lid, and then I pour. There we go, all poured in. I've given it a bit of a stir. And we pinch it closed. Now we just let that sit. All right, let's give it a check. It's probably going to be mostly gross because put a bit too much water in it. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, looks alright. I'll finish my food in a minute. Tidy my things up and now head into bed. That's it, guys. Have fun on your first camp.